Yo, it's Mo here and welcome to the first preview video of my upcoming premium course, Anabolic Ignition. This program is a distillation of the most cutting-edge strategies and techniques that are actually proven to naturally and systematically send your testosterone levels through the roof so that you can finally have the energy and drive to enter your capability as a man. Now, Anabolic Ignition is the culmination of the thousands of hours I've spent going through research, journals, articles, magazines, books, you name it, trying to figure out what is actually proven to work, experimenting on myself, experimenting on a bunch of guys that I worked one-on-one, and finally gotten it down to the tools, frameworks, and step-by-step blueprints that are actually proven to work. I've worked with guys that are 17 years old. I've worked with guys that are 75 years old. All of them think they have different issues that they're dealing with. They have different goals that they're trying to achieve. But I've seen the patterns that have been occurring again and again and again. And Anabolic Ignition narrows down these patterns and figures out what you need to do in order to get this area of your life handled. All right. So no matter how old you are and no matter what your goals are, this program will deliver the goods. So whether you're trying to lose some extra inches off your waist, whether you're trying to build more muscle, whether you're trying to recover your sex drive, or whether you just want more energy to be present with your wife and kids, Anabolic Ignition is for you, all right? Now, having been on this journey myself and having seen the impact that making these changes has had on my energy, on my life, on my ability to show up in business, and the way that other people respond to me as well, it has literally been my mission over the past couple of years to provide you guys with that same information. All right, I've written hundreds of thousands of words on my blog. I've made dozens of videos. I've worked with many guys one-on-one, and Anabolic Ignition is a distillation of everything I've learned during this process. All right, so you can be sure that regardless of what you're trying to achieve or regardless of what issues you're dealing with, Anabolic Ignition narrows down the techniques that will help you overcome all the symptoms of low testosterone. All right, so what we're going to dive into right now is the Triple Your T Manifesto. It sets the foundation for everything that my work is built upon, so you can be sure that if you follow these strategies and techniques, they will further your initiative to actually take action on what I'm telling you. All right, so sit back, pay attention, and more importantly, stick to the very end, where I have a very special announcement that you would not want to miss out on. All right, so the first man walked the earth, I think, 5 million years ago. All right, and through the trials and tribulations of harsh environments and dangerous predators, nature slowly molded us into much of what we are today. All right, I mean, look, we have built cities, as you can see behind me. We have conquered the world. We have been at the top of the food chain for a while now. We have even landed on the moon. We are going to be a multi-planetary species pretty soon if Elon Musk delivers the goods. And overall, we're at the top. We've conquered the planet that we live on. All right, but if you look at the average guy walking on the street today, what will you see? You'll see rounded shoulders. You'll probably see a protruding belly, and you'll see an overall timid nature in him. All right, so why is this the case? Well, there are many reasons, and some people say that it's because of porn addiction. Some people say it's because of the rise of feminism. Some people say it's because of obesity. Some people say it's because of fast food. Whatever the reason is, they all lead down the same path, and that path is a path towards lower testosterone levels. Now, research out of the Massachusetts Male Aging Study actually found that the average testosterone level in American men has been declining by about 1.4% every single year for the past few decades. All right, so that means that the average man today has about 30% lower testosterone levels compared to the average man from just 2 decades ago. All right, so he has a third of the testosterone compared to the men from a few decades ago. Now that's a pretty huge dip, and the outcome of that is pretty evident in terms of the average man that we see today. Now, the next question that this brings us to is, what is masculinity? What does it mean to be a man? I mean, these are questions that are pretty open-ended. They'll have very different answers depending on who you ask. but there's a guy by the name of David Gilmour. He's an anthropologist, and he basically ran one of the most diverse cross-cultural studies to answer this very question. All right, so he went to hunter-gatherer tribes out in the Amazon. He went to like normal cities. He went to every culture you can think of to find out the common patterns that exist amongst the expectation of what it means to be a man. What does it mean to be a masculine man? And what he found was that there were 3 traits in particular that occurred in every single culture, regardless of where in the world that culture was located. All right, and these 3 traits are protection, procreation, and providing. All right, so the male who strives to be a man has to embody these characteristics. And I'm just going to read out a quote by Brett McKay, who's the founder of Art of Manliness, and this is what he has to say about these 3 traits. All right, I'll just read them out. So, a distinct code of manhood has not only been part of nearly every society on earth, whether agricultural or urban, pre-modern or advanced, patriarchal or relatively egalitarian. These codes invariably contain the same 3 imperatives. All right, a male who aspires to be a man must protect, procreate, and provide. So these are the 3 traits that have been occurring in every single culture, regardless of where you go, and across time as well. All right, let's dive deeper into each of them. So the protector role, of course, would provide the man to be strong, courageous, maintain his cool under pressure, and overall just protect his tribe from outside threats. Now, the procreation role will have the man, first of all, have the skills to actually attract a mate, and secondly, to have the biological capacity to actually penetrate his mate and procreate. And the third role is the provider role, which would mean that the man has to provide emotional, not just financial, but emotional, physical, and all types of support to the members of his tribe. Now, I'll ask you, how can you see that testosterone plays a role in each 3 of these roles? Well, for the protector role, obviously, if you want to have strength, if you want to have courage, then you have to have an optimal amount of testosterone running through your veins. I mean, if you don't have testosterone, you probably can't build muscle, you can't build strength, and you probably won't have the courage to act in spite of your fear. Now, the procreation role is pretty obvious as well. Testosterone is the primary male sex hormone. So if you're not producing optimal amounts of it, you will not have the capacity to procreate. And financial support, in terms of providing, obviously, if you don't have the testosterone running through your veins, you won't have the motivation and the drive to provide the financial resources, or if you can't emotionally support yourself, because if you have an hormonal imbalance whereby your testosterone is lower than it should be, then you will have emotional problems yourself, which will decrease your capacity to support the others in your tribe. So the point of the matter is that the reason that testosterone is important, and the reason every man should make it a priority to get this area of his life handled, is because if he has suboptimal levels of testosterone, he will in effect decrease his ability to fulfill the fundamental role of what it means to be a masculine man. All right, so it's established that of course it is very, very important. Now we move on to the next thing, which is the solution that mainstream media has provided for you. And what is it? Well, you're tired, or you are not gaining as much muscle as you want, you're not losing as much fat as you want. Oh, don't worry, here's a cream for you, here's an injection for you, here's a pellet for you. All you have to do is rub some of this cream on your chest every single night, and your testosterone levels will go through the roof, and you will finally have the mental and physical capacity to enter your capability as a man. All right, that's the pitch that Big Pharma has you believe, and they want you to buy testosterone replacement therapy. All right, and having seen the trends over the past couple of years, the sales of testosterone replacement therapy have more than tripled since less than 5 years ago. All right, so men are definitely buying into this marketing message that declining testosterone levels are inevitable with age, and that the only way that they can fix this issue is by opting in for testosterone replacement therapy. But this could not be further from the truth. All right, they've done many studies on this. they've done a meta-analysis on this, and a meta-analysis is the most robust and most definitive evidence you can find on a particular topic, all right? So there were researchers back in 2014 who actually looked at more than 13 scientific studies, and that spanned over 10,000 men, all right? And what they found was, when they graphed the testosterone levels according to age, testosterone levels peaked around the early 20s, and then they kind of normalized, right? And what they found was that yes, older age was correlated with declining testosterone levels, but what they also found was that in the upper percentiles, so for the men that had higher testosterone levels than, for example, 95% of the men in their age bracket, in the upper percentiles, age did not have an impact on testosterone. So in the 95th percentile of a man who was in his 20s and the 95th percentile of a man who was in his 70s, they had about the same testosterone levels. So what does that mean? That means that no matter how old you are, if you maintain the lifestyle habits that allow you to function more optimally, then you will also maintain your testosterone levels, all right? Age is not the primary cause of declining testosterone. It is only a factor which lends credence to the fact that men tend to neglect their health and well-being as they grow older, and as a result have lower testosterone levels, all right? Now, the message that we're constantly being fed is that testosterone declines and that you need to use testosterone replacement therapy. But think about it from the side of big pharmaceutical companies themselves, all right? The product that they make, which will make them the most money, is a product which does not solve any problems. Testosterone replacement therapy does not solve your problem of having low testosterone. All that it does is put a band-aid on top of it, and it masks it. So it masks the symptoms while ignoring the root cause, and the root cause, more often than not, is a suboptimal lifestyle. But the problem with testosterone replacement therapy, first of all, you'll be spending on it for the rest of your life. So once you start using it, your body will shut off its natural production, and you will be chained to a medical treatment for the rest of your life, and Big Pharma will effectively have a customer, a lifetime customer, which is their ideal customer, all right? So think about it. What has led you to the point where you are right now? Are you overweight? Are you not getting enough sleep? Are you not going to the gym? Are you not showing up in your relationship? All of these factors, if taken control of, can help naturally increase your testosterone. But what Big Pharma wants you to believe is that it's impossible and that all you need is a magic pill. And yes, testosterone replacement therapy works. Of course, you're putting exogenous testosterone in your body, but the downside far outweigh the upsides, because it's not wise, based on what I've seen, to address symptoms while completely ignoring the root cause. So these are the two principles that set the foundation for all the work that I do here at Triple Your T. First of all, testosterone defines your masculinity, all right? It defines your ability to play the role of the protector, of the provider, and of the procreator, all right? If you don't have optimal levels of testosterone, you won't be able to fulfill these roles optimally. And secondly, the mainstream media message that all of us are being fed is that declining testosterone levels are inevitable with age, and that the only way to fix low testosterone is with pharmaceutical medicine. And both of these facts have been disproven by scientific research, but obviously the marketing messages that they're sending out is not driven by the research, it's driven by their financial incentive. And once they have you hooked, they have you hooked for life, and you're effectively chained on the treatment for the rest of your life, or for as long as you care about getting a boner. So no matter how old you are, and no matter what issues you're facing, naturally increasing your testosterone levels is a possibility for you if you believe it. Our beliefs drive our actions, and if you believe that this is something that you have control over, then you will give yourself the permission to actually start taking action. So if you have any questions at all, any questions, any comments, any concerns, leave them in the section below, and I will most definitely get back to you. And in the next launch video, we'll be talking about what you need to be focusing on in order to get this area of your life handled. I've created a very nice framework of a pyramid that goes over the base, the foundation, the top, and what areas you need to be focusing on, exactly in what order, which will help you naturally optimize your testosterone levels, and live a life of more energy, power, and purpose. So that wraps it up for the first preview video of Anabolic Ignition. I hope that has provided you with some eye-opening takeaways, and leave a comment below with your #1 takeaway so that you can help others, and others will leave a comment as well, and that will help you. That being said, keep an eye out for launch video #2, in which I go over what you need to be focusing on, exactly what order. This has been Mo Salim, and I'll see you soon.